Today is the new chapter you're looking, that is on the pleura. So we'll look what do mean by the pleura. See, last class we have dealt about the respiratory system. So in that we have looked about the parts of the respiratory system like nose, nasal cavity, nasal septum, the larynx. Okay. So after that, we look into the next part that is called as a pleura. Pleura means it is a it will cover the lungs. Okay. So what do you mean by the definition of the pleura? It is a fibroserous membrane covering the lungs. The lung is covered by a membrane. That membrane is it is called as it is a fibroserous membrane covering the lung. See, the pleura is a thin, smooth, glistening, delicate, serous membrane which covers the lungs, lines the walls of the thorax. This layer of mesothelial cells supported by connective tissue. So you see that the lung is enclosed by a fibroserous membrane that is called as the pleura. So in the pleura, if you look, there are layers, okay. Two layers that are contained by the pleura. The two layers are called as, one is called as a visceral pleura and one more is called as a parietal pleura. So the pleura has got two layers, they are called as visceral pleura and parietal pleura. Then in between the two layer, between the visceral and the parietal pleura, there it lies a cavity. That cavity is called as a pleural cavity. So remember, pleural cavity is a potential space between visceral and parietal pleura. So remember, pleura has got two layer. One is called as visceral pleura and one more is called as a parietal pleura. Then we look between the two layer, between the two layer of pleura, there is a space. That space is called as a cavity. That is called as a pleural cavity. So pleural cavity is a potential space between visceral and parietal pleura. Next, what do you mean by parietal pleura? Okay. Parietal pleura covers the internal surface of thoracic cavity. You know the thoracic cavity consists of ribs and the sternum. So within the cavity, the parietal pleura is present. It is thicker than the visceral pleura and can be subdivided according to the parts of the body that is it is contact with. Therefore, parietal pleura is split into following four parts. So the four parts are called costal pleura, diaphragmatic pleura, mediastinum pleura and cervical pleura. So these are the pleura consists of four layers there. So the four layers are called as costal pleura, diaphragmatic pleura, mediastinum pleura and cervical pleura. These are the four layers. Okay, remember parietal pleura consists of four layers there: costal, diaphragmatic, mediastinal and cervical pleura. So if I tell you here, see what do you mean by first the costal pleura. If you look into the figure here, see if you look into the figure here, you can see this is a costal pleura. Okay, so lines the inner surface. If you see, it lines the inner surface of the sternum, ribs and their costal cartilage. So these are ribs and these are the costal cartilage. So this is called as a costal pleura. The costal pleura lines the inner surface of the sternum, ribs and the costal cartilage. So that is called as a costal pleura. Next, if you see diaphragmatic pleura, it covers the thoracic upper surface diaphragm. See, this is called as a diaphragmatic pleura. It covers the thoracic upper surface of the diaphragm. Upper surface of the diaphragm is enclosed by the diaphragmatic pleura. Next is the cervical pleura. Cervical pleura, it covers the apex of the lung. This is the apex of the lung. So it covers the apex of the lung at the root of the neck. This is the root of the neck. So the apex of the lung is enclosed by the pleura, that is called as the cervical pleura. Next you are coming to the next part. It is called as this part, mediastinum pleura. It covers the lateral accept of the mediastinum. Okay, so here comes the mediastinum pleura. It covers the lateral accept of the mediastinum. The space between the visceral and parietal pleura forms a cavity. That cavity is called as a pleural cavity. Normally, this cavity it contains pleural fluid and is narrow space. The fluid allows the lung to glide freely without friction over the thoracic wall during breathing movement. So you know when expiration and the inspiration, that movement happen, no? So that this will allow the lungs to distend up. So these are about the pleura. So remember the pleura are divided into costal pleura, okay, diaphragmatic pleura, cervical pleura, and the mediastinal pleura. So between the two pleura, what is that? Between the parietal and the visceral pleura, between the parietal and visceral pleura, there is a space. That space is called as a pleural cavity. So next, if you look in this figure, we look about the recess there called as a pleural recess. Okay, what do you mean by pleural recess? A pleural recess is a deep hollow created by pleural reflection. So the recesses are of two type. They are called as, one is called as a, this one is called, here you see this space, see this is called as caudo-mediastinal. See, you can see here, that is called as a costo-mediastinal recess, and one more here, it is called as a costo-diaphragmatic recess. So pleural recesses are two. One is called as the costo-mediastinal recess and one more is called as the costo-diaphragmatic recess. So if I tell you, what do you mean by mediastinal recess? It is present in relation to anterior border of the lung, prominent left side. See here, see this is a costo-mediastinal recess. It is present in relation to the anterior border of the lung, and this is very prominent on the left side. So this is called as a costo-mediastinal recess. Recess means space. Then one more is called as a costo-diaphragmatic recess. Here it is a prominent in mid-axillary line. It is a space between lower limit of the pleural sac and the lower border of the lung. You can see this is the pleural sac and the lower border of the lung. So in between these two there is a space. This is called as a costo-diaphragmatic recess. It makes a provision to allow the expansion of lung in full inspiration. So what will happen? It will give a provision, a space to allow the expansion of lung in full inspiration. So when you inspire the air, so this, it occupies this space called as a costo-diaphragmatic recess. Okay, one more is, it is the most dependent part of pleural sac. If fluid appears in the pleural sac, it collects first in the costo-diaphragmatic recess. So if there is any fluid accumulation like that, it will be occupying this space, that is called as the costo-diaphragmatic recess. Okay, this is about the pleura. Okay, then we'll come to the next part about the, see, you can make out clearly here. Okay, so what we have discussed about the pleura, see this is a lung. You can see in the figure, this is a lung. The lung is enclosed by a pleura here. So the pleura are of two type. One, this one is called a parietal. One close to the lung is called as a visceral pleura. Next we have seen the parietal pleura is subdivided into following four parts. One close to the apex of the lung is called cervical pleura. One close to the sternum and ribs is called a costal pleura. One close to the mediastinum called mediastinum. One close to this is called as a diaphragmatic pleura. So these are the different types subdivision of the parietal pleura. Parietal pleura is subdivided in following type: cervical pleura, costal pleura, mediastinum pleura, and diaphragmatic pleura. Then we have looked between the two, between the parietal pleura and visceral pleura, there lies a space. So these spaces are called as the recesses. So the recesses named as, one is called as the costo-mediastinal recess and one more is called as the costo-diaphragmatic recess. You can see here, one is called a costo-mediastinal and one more is called as a costo-diaphragmatic recess. These are the two recesses of the pleura. Okay, next, coming to the applied anatomy of the pleura. So one is called as a pneumothorax. Pneumothorax, commonly referred to a collapsed lung, occur when air or gas is present within the pleural space. You see, I told between there is a space called pleural space. If there occurs air or gas is present within the pleural space, this removes the surface tension of serous fluid present in the space, reducing the lung extension. That is the one thing. And what will happen? Spontaneous. A spontaneous pneumothorax occur without a specific cause. It is subdivided into primary, no underlying respiratory disease, and secondary, underlying respiratory present. One more, traumatic. A traumatic pneumothorax occurs as a result of blunt or penetrative chest trauma, such as a rib fracture. If there is a rib fracture, that time what will happen? It will damage the pleura. If there is a damage to pleura, there will be open. Okay, so it may require decompression to remove the extra or air or gas in order for the lung to reinflate. This is achieved via the insertion of chest drain. So this is about the applied importance of the pleura. It is one more is called as one more they do, okay, that is called pleural tap, otherwise called paracentesis, is usually performed posterior to mid axillary line at one or more intercostal space below the fluid level. One more is called a dry pleuresis. The surface of both parietum visceral pleura become rough and a friction rub may be heard with the stethoscope. Okay, this is about the applied importance of the pleura.